have in the room with me. So here from the National Grid team is Io Asamboni, the project manager, along with Jacques Afonso, the customer and community manager, and we are three of a large group of team members that are working diligently to bring OnIsland to success. OnIsland is the Aquidneck Island Reliability Project, and we'll be walking you through this evening a brief presentation, no more than 30 minutes to maximize your time, and give you an overview of what we're proposing with this project. We've been out in the community several times to date, including a couple of community meetings in both Portsmouth and Middletown, and we will continue a high level of engagement with all residents along the routes of the projects as well as those just generally within the community. Here on the screen in front of you, you'll see some basic options for participating in the webinar. We do have an audio option, which we hope we're past any strange technical glitches with, but you are muted throughout this presentation and can participate through the audio either from your computer speakers, which is called VoIP, or the conference call line that's provided. To ask questions, we do have a questions box, which I've seen some of you already start to use, which is wonderful. This questions box is a way that you can send us questions and we can answer them at the end of the presentation. We can receive these throughout the entire duration of the presentation, but we'll only answer them at the end. If you want to ask a question, you just hit that plus sign and it will pop out the questions box and you can submit it kind of like an IM chat. One other thing to note about the little right-hand screen toolbar that you have, should that disappear or minimize, you just hit the red arrow and it will pop back out. If you do have any technical issues, please contact the number provided on the screen or the website that's there, and the team that's working this on the back end can certainly help you. The webinar is being recorded, and we will post it to our website, OnIslandNGrid.com, within 7 days, and I encourage all of you to check out the website, as it does have some really useful information about the project. So let's get right into it. What are we doing with OnIsland, the Aquidneck Island Reliability Project? National Grid is investing about $93 million to upgrade aging electrical delivery system within the island. This is both the transmission and distribution components of the system to benefit each of the communities within Aquidneck Island, including Portsmouth, Middletown, and Newport. We will start the work in the fall of this year in various phases and look to conclude in 2020. The whole purpose of this is to really increase the reliability of the electrical delivery system to the island, and is reflective of National Grid's Connect 21 vision to upgrade and update aging infrastructure to modern and advanced technology that supports our 21st century life and economy. So why are we doing it? It's pretty simple. The electrical system that serves Aquidneck Island is old. It's nearing its capacity, its intended life. A lot of the equipment that you see on the island, whether it's substations or some of the transmission lines, they're circa 1950s infrastructure, and part of our plan looks to replace those with the most modern technology. We've been studying Aquidneck Island and the electrical delivery needs for quite some time, and this chart here is really illustrative of the summer peak load growth that's occurred from 1990 to 2013. We've seen almost a 53% increase during that period of time during peak summer time for demand. That's when we're all running our air conditioners and have a lot of energy needs that we're putting on the system. The improvements that we're proposing with OnIsland will better handle that peak demand and future growth. It will be less susceptible to any outages and be faster to restore when outages do occur because of the modernization of the technology we're going to implement. So just a brief word on Electricity 101. So when we all think about the electricity delivery system, we want to flip on a switch and have the lights come on. We want to click the power button on the remote and have the TV turn on. And it is that simple, but it's all supported by a very complex network, which you see here. And I'm not going to describe all of the components of it, but I do want to highlight the areas that we'll be working on island. We'll be working on the transmission lines that you see there, the power substation, and then the distribution lines that power your homes and businesses. The transmission lines are kind of like this energy superhighway to bring high voltage long distances. and then it goes to the power substation, which steps down the power, and then onto the distribution lines that brings it to your homes and businesses, so you can, with ease and with certainty, turn on those lights and turn on that TV. So why are we doing it? Where are we doing it? One of the locations is Portsmouth. The town of Portsmouth has several components where we'll be doing upgrades within this project. We will be removing the existing Jepson substation on Jepson Lane, which is adjacent to Sisson Pond. There's a lot of benefits there in removing that substation, and we'll get into what we're going to do to replace that substation in just a minute. We'll also be doing some work within the existing footprint of the Dexter substation off of Freeborn Street in Portsmouth, and that'll be doing some reconfiguring to support the rebuild and conversion of the 61 and 62 transmission lines to the 115 kilovolts. Those lines are there within existing National Grid right-of-way. The work for those upgrades will be about 4 miles. And we'll have some taller poles, but there will be a streamlined design, as you'll see in just a moment. Here you see on your screen to the left is an existing view of what's there today within the existing National Grid right-of-way. Those poles are holding the current 61 and 62 lines, and over to the right you'll see the proposed design for the upgraded 61 and 62 lines. These pictures, along with several other visual simulations, are available on our website, OnIslandandGrid.com. So there's more views than just what you see here, so you can check it out and get a better sense of what we're planning to do. Here's a view of the map that shows from a high level the work that will be done for the 61 and 62 lines. The purple box up at the top in the northern part of the map is the Dexter substation. We'll be doing work within the existing footprint of that substation to accommodate the upgraded voltage. And then the green and orange lines that run down south to the existing Jepson substation, those are the 61 and 62 lines that will be upgraded. And then the Jepson substation you see there, that's where we'll be removing the existing Jepson substation and building a new one. So let's get into what's happening in Middletown, which includes that building of the new Jepson substation. We will be moving the existing Jepson substation across the street to National Grid-owned land, and we will be constructing a new state-of-the-art substation right there on Jepson Lane. We'll also be removing, based on all of this other work that we're doing, we'll be able to retire and remove several other existing substations within Middletown, including Bailey Brook off of East Main Road, South Aquidneck off of Aquidneck Avenue, North Aquidneck off of North Aquidneck Avenue, and in addition to those, we'll be doing some distribution line improvements throughout the area. The distribution line improvements, we're still working on finalizing the design for all of that, and we'll certainly be communicating all of the areas in which we will be in the streets or in the roads doing that work. We will be working with the town to make sure that we will be minimizing any traffic concerns, and we'll have a traffic mitigation plan in place as we address those distribution line improvements. And we'll be using Twitter, our Twitter feed, and our website to provide some construction notifications to make sure that you understand where roads may be impacted by this work. Here's another view of some visual simulations of what we're going to be retiring for substations. So the one that you see on the top left, that's the existing Bailey Brook substation, and the one on the bottom is the South Aquidneck substation. And you can see as you scroll to the right what we anticipate that to look like when we do retire and remove those substations. There's obviously great cleanup for the areas. And again, we have these visual renderings available on our website. This map here provides a quick overview of where the existing Jepson substation is and where the proposed new Jepson substation will go. Again, it's across the street on National Grid-owned land. It's within a transmission corridor. There's existing lines there, the 61 and 62 lines. There's also some distribution lines there. So we'll be just putting that new substation over there, and it will be modern with really advanced controls and other technology to best serve Aquidneck Island. These maps are available also on our website, OnIslandandGrid.com. It's an interactive mapping website, so you can, or tool, so you can go on there. You can zoom in and zoom out for each of the project components and see where either your home or business might be in relationship to the work that we're proposing. In Newport, there are a few core items that we're going to address. We will be constructing a new Newport substation off of J.T. Connell Highway. That's off of newly acquired land that National Grid purchased. It's the old Verizon building. That's the location for this new substation. We'll also be removing the existing Vernon substation off of Vernon Avenue. And again, we'll be continuing with some of the distribution line improvements, which we are still working on finalizing. Here's a quick glance on a map for situational awareness as to where the new Newport substation will go. It's a great location given that there's minimal impact and that the land, again, is National Grid-owned land. So with that, again, just a quick overview of the project that we're proposing. We'd like to take a moment to pause right now so that you can assemble your questions and send them to us. Again, there's a questions box that you can type them into, and as they come through, we will gladly answer them with the subject matter experts that are in the room right now. So we'll just pause for a moment, give you some time, and then we'll come right back to answer those questions. Okay, we have a few questions in. I'm going to start with the first one, and again, keep sending these as you think of them, and we will address them. Is there a blueprint available to see where new poles will be located? I'm going to pass that over to Io Osamboni, the project manager, and he'll provide an answer.
Yes, good evening. My name is Io Osamboni, and yes, the new poles are going to be located very close to the existing poles. So we're looking at a distance of about 7 feet from the existing poles, so that we can maximize the current right-of-way that we have right now. So those locations are available to our customers, or if you're interested in getting more information, we can provide this information too.
In the coming weeks, we'll be going out with folks to canvass the area and really sit down and talk with each abutter that is impacted by the project, and to give them some information on what we're doing, and also take back any concerns, feedback, or questions you might have. We're happy to send out teams of folks to meet with you individually to show you where the work is set to occur. That's something we can handle on a case-by-case basis, and are happy to do so. Are the poles going to be direct set or foundation?
The new poles are going to be on foundations. So we have galvanized steel poles, which will be set on new foundations.
Will the transmission line footprints be the same, or will they be on separate structures? So we are putting new structures in on the 61 and 62 lines, but as Io indicated, they will be very near to where the existing structures are, and the visual simulations provide a good glimpse of what those will look like as we're currently planning. Will the power be turned off at any time, and when will this project start? So we have two questions there. I'll start with the last part of that. The project is anticipated to start in the fall of 2015, so this year, but it will be done in phases. So we are working on the schedule right now to determine exactly where we'll be at what times, and we will be communicating that with the towns, with each of the landowners, abutters in the area. So you will have a lot of information as to what will be happening and where. And then the other part of the question, will power be turned off at any time? We're not anticipating any disruptions to the power with this project, so we wouldn't see that the power would be turned off. Next question is, what is the average height of the towers? I'm going to pass it to Io, and he'll provide the answer.
The average height of the tower is about 98 feet. So they're much taller. They're much taller than the current poles that are within the 61 and 62 line, which is the current transmission line. So they're about 98 feet.
Another question, what can I expect for road closures? Well, as it relates to the transmission work, that will happen on National Grid-owned right-of-way and will have little to no impact on traffic. The substation work will have minimal impact, and of course the distribution line work, as we discussed, there will be some traffic interruptions, but that's where we're putting in place the traffic management plan, and we'll be working diligently with the towns to ensure that that is limited disruption. Are the distribution line improvements overhead or underground? Those are overhead distribution line improvements that we'll be doing with this project. Another question, since the new lines will carry higher voltage, that this is the 61 and 62 transmission lines, what are the health implications of higher voltage near home? I'm going to pass it to Io.
One of the things we've done is we brought in an outside consultant to look at the effects of their EMF based on the current height and based on our current design. And because we're going to be having higher poles, we actually found out that the current EMF level is even going to be reduced than what's there right now. So it's more of a betterment because of the current height of the poles.
If there are further questions on that, we certainly do have some information that we can share. Another question, who is doing the work, contractors or National Grid? And we will be using both contractors and National Grid employees to complete this work. Another question, the new towers are 98 feet tall. How tall are the existing towers? Okay, I'm going to answer that one.
The existing towers range in height from 50 to about 60 feet. So the new towers are a little bit taller than the existing poles that we have at the site right now.
We gave our email address, so will we get updates? We will be providing updates to area residents on the project as we move forward with this initiative to implement improved electrical delivery system to Aquidneck Island. So yes, we will be reaching out to you. Likewise, we put up here on the screen ways that you can reach out to us. We have a website, again, that I've mentioned several times, OnIslandandGrid.com. We also have a Twitter handle at OnIslandNG if you're into social media. We also have an email address that you can reach us, onisland@nationalgrid.com. And there are two hotline numbers. One's a local number and a toll-free number that are staffed regularly and will send out a response. We have a couple more questions coming in that we'll take. There's a question here about trimming trees within the right-of-way of the existing transmission line. National Grid does maintain our rights-of-way, including those areas that we own in fee and with easements to better protect and obviously take into account safety issues with the transmission lines. So we will be trimming trees as necessary, and we will be informing the abutters or anybody living near those lines of that type of work before it happens. Do we have any more questions that you would like to send? Again, we will be reaching out to each and every one of you in the coming weeks as we implement more outreach and education to the community. We're here standing by to take your questions, comments, or concerns. We're an email away, a phone call away, so please feel free to reach out to us. Use the resources on the website, which we will be updating as appropriate. We look forward to continuing the dialogue with you and your neighbors. With that, I do want to mention that we will have a brief survey when we close out of the webinar. We really appreciate if you could take just a few minutes to answer. And we thank you for your participation today and taking time out of your busy schedule. And we will see you on island very soon.